When did your relatives who treated you like garbage suddenly need your help? My aunt literally hid her purse in her car trunk when she saw me walking up to my grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary party. Through the window, I watched my uncle whisper something to his wife, and she immediately took off her diamond earrings and shoved them in her pocket. 28 years old, and my family still treated me like I was about to rob them blind because I got arrested for shoplifting when I was 15. The whole extended family was there for the anniversary celebration, which meant I got to experience the full spectrum of their paranoia and disgust. My cousin made a big show of counting the bottles in the liquor cabinet loud enough for everyone to hear while staring directly at me. Just making sure we know what we started with, he announced to the room like he was doing everyone a favor. My mother pulled me aside and whispered that she'd already warned everyone to keep their medications locked up because we can't be too careful with your history. I haven't touched anything stronger than coffee in 8 years, but she still introduces me to people as her troubled one who's trying to get back on track. My uncle took it to another level when I walked past the room where they'd piled everyone's coats, and he literally stood guard in the doorway blocking my path. The bathroom's the other direction, he said with this smug little smile that made me want to scream. The anniversary dinner was even worse because they stuck me at the overflow table in the kitchen with the kids under 10, even though there were empty seats in the dining room. One of the teenagers asked why I was sitting with them, and my aunt loudly explained that sometimes adults need supervision too, which got a huge laugh from the other room. While everyone else ate off my grandmother's china, I got a plastic plate because apparently I couldn't be trusted with anything breakable. My uncle kept walking through to check on things, which meant staring at me like I might pocket the salt shakers, while his wife counted the silverware drawer right in front of me. Then my uncle decided to move my grandmother's antique mirror to the garage because he didn't trust me around something that valuable. He was carrying it through the dining room, making another speech about family heirlooms and personal responsibility when he tripped over his own grandson's toy truck and went straight through the sliding glass door. The mirror shattered and a huge shard went straight into his thigh while smaller pieces sliced his arms and neck. Blood started spurting everywhere in these rhythmic pulses, and everyone just stood there screaming while he turned white and started losing consciousness. My aunt was shrieking about calling 911 but fumbling with her phone and dropping it in the blood while my mother fainted and my cousin vomited on the carpet. I jumped over the kitchen table and slid through the blood to get to him while ripping off my belt in one motion. Nobody touch anything, and someone get me clean towels, vodka from the freezer, and super glue from the junk drawer. Now! I barked while using my knee to apply pressure above the wound. The femoral artery was nicked, and he had maybe 3 minutes before he bled out, so I used my belt as a tourniquet while everyone stood there frozen. Another cousin finally brought supplies while I worked to stop the bleeding from his neck with one hand and maintained pressure with my knee. When the EMTs burst through the door 7 minutes later, one of them gasped and said, "Doctor, is that you?" And the entire room went dead silent. The lead paramedic looked at my family's shocked faces while his partner took over compression and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Your family member is only alive because the doctor was here since she's the head of emergency trauma at the regional hospital," and literally wrote the protocol we use for arterial bleeds. My aunt's mouth fell open while the paramedic continued talking about how I'd saved 17 people from a tour bus crash last month. "We use her field trauma method in all our training videos," he added while they loaded my uncle onto the stretcher, and I rattled off exactly which vessels were compromised.